Today I'm going to compare the old and the new Rolex Submariner. We're going to be comparing their price points, build quality and where to buy these pieces. So let's begin with the 1989 Rolex Submariner 16610. So here's the watch at question. Let's begin by talking about the specifications for this piece. It's got a 40mm stainless steel case made out of 316L steel, which is not Rolex's modern steel, that's the 904L steel, which has anti-corrosive properties. But this technology was not around when the watch was originally launched, which might be something to consider when purchasing. Moving on, it has a black dial with tritium lume marked Swiss T25 at 6 o'clock. Tritium is a radioactive substance that was used in watches back in those times, therefore it may have died out and you may not get the luminescence required when it's dark. The crystal is sapphire glass with a cyclops lens over the date, which does not have anti-reflective coating. Finally, it is water resistant to 300 meters. Briefly touching on the movement, it's got a caliber 3135. It's automatic with a quick set date. The quick set date means you don't have to use the hour hand to change the date. You just have to take up the crown and twist it to the desired date you want. And that concludes my analysis of the 1989 Rolex Submariner. We'll talk about the price point of this watch later in the video so that we can compare both of the watches side by side. We'll also look at the best options when looking to buy the watch later. But without further ado, let's begin our comparison with the modern Submariner. The new Submariner may look the same as the old one, but has had some amazing technological advancements. The 41mm case has finally been given the 904L steel. This was introduced a while back in 1985, but for the 166-110, they decided to keep 316L steel. 904L is Rolex's own steel, meaning you can subject it to corrosive things like sea salt and not have to worry about it. Perfect for a diving watch like the Sub. Instead of the 16610, we now have a Cerachron bezel, meaning it's scratch-proof and fade-proof, along with lume for diving. It has a black dial with the markers finally being used with superlume, aka chromolite in Rolex terms. This is also the lume applied to the bezel. The movement is a 3235, same as the 16610. It also has a superlative chronometer like the other one. It packs a punch with a power reserve of 70 hours, decked out with shock absorbers, meaning it can take bashes and knocks without messing up the movement. The bracelet is also a 904L steel. It has a flip-flop clasp like the old one, however the Rolex crown, instead of being stamped, has been placed carefully, and the links are solid, like solid end links, so it would feel sturdy and luxurious. Like the 16610, it also has a 300 meter waterproof. However, because of the age, it is not recommended to use the 16610 professionally, as the watch may break. That was my analysis of the modern Rolex Submariner. Next, I need to give you information on the prices and when you can buy these pieces, as well as my conclusion on both these Rolexes. So let's discuss the prices. For the Rolex Submariner 16610 on eBay, with box and papers and authenticity guarantee, we could be looking at £8,739, ranging up to £11,000. On Chrono24, which is a more reliable website, with box and papers and an authenticity guarantee, we're looking at £9,000 all the way up to £10,000. So, your choice on who you go for, depending on your budget. If you feel reluctant to buy from Chrono24 or eBay, feel free to use Rolex's in-house pre-owned services, where you can get this model for up to £13,000. It all depends on the condition and what it comes with. And now, finally, it's time for my conclusion on whether you should be getting the 16610 vintage Rolex 1969 Submariner, or you should be going for the modern 126610. To be honest, they're both really hard choices, and it's now down to you. Do you want heritage or slimmer proportions, or do you want something that will really embody that Rolex Submariner DNA? You should be going for the 16610, and it has beautiful collection value, it has vintage charm, and honestly, it is really beautiful. However, on the other hand, if you want that modern Rolex spark, a 70-hour power reserve, chromolite lubed, a glide lock clasp allowing you for extra comfort in the wrist, then I think you should be going for the Rolex 2025 Submariner. Thank you for watching. Please drop your thoughts in the comments and stay updated to the Watch blog. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.